Hey there! If you've ever heard me talk about single point rubrics or three-column rubrics, you know that it is one of my favorite tools to assess and give feedback to students. I have a video that I put on YouTube kind of talking about three-point rubrics, but I got the question from a teacher, how do I use those three-point rubrics with Schoology? And I thought it was a fantastic question, so here I am. I will show you an example of what that three-point rubric looks like in Schoology. We're trying to simplify our instruction. We're trying to make sure that we have all of our resources in one place. We're trying to use Schoology to its full effect. So what I have here is a three-point rubric in Schoology. So the students see this as they are given an assignment. I'll show you that in just a moment. And I have it set up with a 2-point scale, meaning met expectation, 1 point meaning attempted the assignment, and then a 0 point meaning they did not attempt it at all. They turned nothing in, or they did not try. So I'll show you what that would look like. So I have a student piece of work here, and you can see the feedback that she's gotten from me. I have a little note here just saying, hey, resubmit after double checking my comments. But when she goes to this grade, or when I go to this grade, you can see that she got 8 points. She did this one correctly, this one correctly. This one, she's nearly there. And so I added a comment to let her know why she didn't meet that. So that's one of the best parts about single point rubrics, is if you do not meet that standard, you can add a quick little comment saying what the student needs to do to improve. And you can add those comments for things that they did well as well. So here we go. I'm going to show you how to make this and how to save it as a template so you can access those templates pretty easily as you're doing more and more assignments, so you're not creating from scratch. So here I am inside my Schoology course, and I'm going to go to add materials, and I'm going to add an assignment. And whatever I name this assignment is going to be the name of my rubric. Sorry, it's taking just a moment. There we go. So I'm going to call this test rubric. You're going to add your description. And then as you scroll down, when you go to the scale/rubric, you're going to see a button here for create new. You're also going to see that I have an art one down here. That's one of my saved templates. So once you have something saved, you can access that really easily and just assign it multiple times if that works for your needs. So I'm going to go to create new. And then I'm going to give it this title, test rubric. And then you're going to see that by default, Schoology gives me 4 criteria. I don't have a 4-point because I'm basically just saying you either met it or did not meet it or did not attempt. I don't need a 3, so I'm going to delete that one. And then my 2 is going to be met expectations, whatever that's grading thing you say. 1 needs improvement, and then I'm going to use this little plus sign right here to add a cell. I'm going to make that a 0, and that's going to be my did not attempt. So that it's very clear to yourself, to family members, to the students, that the student is not getting points for not attempting. So this is my first criteria, and the way that we're going to find that, I have one of Janelle's 3-point rubrics right here. And so I'm going to take the criteria, in this case it's the structure, and I'm just going to paste it right there. And then now my 2-point, my proficient, I'm going to copy that criteria, and oops, wrong window, and I'm going to paste that right here underneath my 2. In order to get a 2, you need this particular thing. And then my needs improvement, I'm just going to say needs improvement, or however you word that for your students, and I'll just give that student a comment if they need any kind of improvement, and my comments are going to tell them what they need to do to improve their work. So you're going to go through and you're going to copy all of the criteria. In this case, we're looking for design and symbols. And then when you click that plus criteria, it's going to give you a blank spot to paste that. And then under the 2, you're going to then paste, it automatically autofills from what was on top. I could have added all my criteria first and then just pasted. It might have been a little bit simpler that way. And then you're going to take, how do I get proficient in that particular criteria right there. And then you're going to click create. So what that does is it adds it to your Schoology. Now, my recording, I'm going to need to end it real quick. I will add on another one here that talks about how to save that to your templates and make your life a little bit easier. So thank you very much. Hey there, when we left off just a moment ago, I was showing you how to use Schoology to upload a single point rubric for students. And so here is my example here of these are the criteria that I'm asking my students to meet. When there's a nearly there, I'm going to be able to give them feedback. For example, I have one here that needs grading. So when I click on that needs grading option, it's going to show me the student's work here. And then I can add an overall comment right here to the right. But when I click that grade button, you're going to see how simple it is to add scores and notes to this rubric. So let's say that the student did the first thing perfectly. I'm going to just click a 2. Let's say the student did this really well, but I want to leave a comment and just say like, wow, this was a great example of, so I can give them compliments in addition to feedback for fixes. So here I'm going to do a nearly there, and then again I'm going to add a comment, please be sure to. And so you can see that I can give these students this feedback very, very quickly. And again, if I'm going to give a 1, I always want to give a comment to tell the student and the families exactly what piece they were missing. And then when I click save, it's going to automatically give the score to that student. So just a really simple way to keep all of our grades in Schoology for easy use. So when we left off last, I was showing you how to use the Schoology rubrics feature for a single point rubric. I'm going to show you one more thing, which is how to add a rubric as a template and how to modify it for an assignment. So here is my rubric that I created. It's called Test Rubric. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Grade Setup. So you've already set up a rubric in your class and are using it with your students, just like this one that I just showed you. And you're going to go to Grade Setup. And then over on the right-hand side, it's going to give us 2 little tabs here. One is Scales and the other is Rubrics. Just make sure Rubrics is clicked here. And then you're going to see that that rubric that you just created will pop up here. So when you click that drop-down menu and then click Save to Resources, it's going to save that template or that completed rubric. And so if it's a rubric you're using throughout the year, for example, just like a generic writing rubric with similar criteria, you can just upload that and save that template. But in this case, what I've done is I've made a rubric that is just blank. It has everything set up with the 2, the 1, and the 0, so I can just modify that for the different assignments I'm doing. So I did grade setup, rubrics, drop-down menu, save the resources. And how I use that is if I'm assigning a new assignment and I need to add a rubric to that, a single point rubric or other, and then I go to Add Materials, Add Assignment. When I go to that drop-down menu for rubrics, down here, I'm just going to click that because I need something there. Scale rubric, you're going to see there's that test rubric right there. So I can click that. Now it's blank. It hasn't had the criteria assigned to it. So when I click this little 4 boxes here, menu, it'll pop open that generic rubric. And so that's when I can go in and make it clear to the students exactly what criteria I'm looking for this assignment. So just like I did the first time, but now I don't have to delete any columns. I don't have to add anything else. I can just take the criteria, paste them in, and then save them for this particular activity. So hopefully that helps. I think that's pretty much all I needed to show you. But if you have questions, definitely reach out. I would love to explore it more and kind of make this meet the needs that you have in your classroom. So thanks a lot.